Welcome and welcome back to my channel. If you are here today, you are in the right place because I have some information to share with you guys. All right, we're gonna jump right into this video. I'm just gonna briefly tell you guys a little bit about what sea moss is. If you already know what sea moss is, and you want to skip on over to the preparation side, you can do that, or you can stay to get a little refresher. All right, so I have my laptop here because I don't know all the things off the top of my head. Okay, so purple sea moss, also known as Irish moss, it is a type of edible seaweed that is believed to have several types of health benefits. Purple sea moss is a rich source of vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants, including iodine, zinc, magnesium, and potassium. The high iodine can help support thyroid function, which is essential for metabolism and hormone production. It can improve digestion, reduce bloating, and reduce constipation. It can also improve skin elasticity, reduce inflammation, and clear up skin conditions. So those are just a few benefits of taking purple sea moss. I just want to speak on my experience now from taking purple sea moss. Okay, so back in last year, 2024, I consistently took sea moss for over 8 months, I believe. It was almost a year. I consistently was taking sea moss. And I just want to give you guys a little backstory. I was always prone to catching a cold in the cold seasons. Whenever I step outside, if it's too cold and I'm not properly, dressed, I will catch a cold immediately. If I'm around other people who might have a cold, strep, fever, whatever it is, I was prone to catching a cold. So back in 2024, I decided to work at an urgent care. And we all know urgent cares are full of sick people, from COVID, RSV, strep, pink eye, colds, flus, everything in the books. So I just knew that I was gonna be sick all the time. Don't ask me why I took this job. It was crazy for me to take this job, but I just knew that I was gonna be sick. So I try to be safe, wear a mask, because I was always speaking with people who were sick, like directly face to face. And I tried to, spray down the office all the time with Lysol disinfectant spray. Unfortunately, for whatever reason, the urgent care I was working at, they told us that we couldn't spray disinfectant spray anymore because it can affect the patients and the guests' immune system. So they took all disinfectant sprays out of the office. All we had was an air purifier. So that was very annoying and unfortunate because people were coughing, sneezing, throwing up, all the things that you can name. So I was like, I just know I'm gonna be sick. So then around that time, I did order some purple Irish moss. Now, where I ordered it from, I will leave it in the description box. I'm not sponsored for any of this stuff. I just don't want to gatekeep, so I'm gonna put that in the description box. Back to my story. I did decide to buy purple sea moss at that time, and I was taking it consistently. Every morning, I would put it in my shake, and I'll have a shake every morning before I start work, or throughout the morning, my morning shift, I will be drinking my purple sea moss. And mind you, I was in the office for 12 hours every time I went in, so I was around like germs all the time. Surprisingly, I never got sick working in this office. And that was just such a huge shocker to me. And I'm like, I am not getting sick. So then I started to realize, and I'm like, oh, I am taking sea moss every day. So I was like, okay, this has to be the reason why. So I continued to take the sea moss throughout that time. And then once I left that job and moved to another city, I did stop taking my sea moss consistently for about 6 months. Throughout that entire 6 months, I still did not get sick. And I finally caught a cold the other day. So that's why I am here, because I'm like, let me stop playing around and get back onto my sea moss and put y'all on too. I know some of the other benefits from taking sea moss that I heard from other people were higher energy levels, and improve their hair, their skin, and their nails, improve their immune system, like myself. And it might even have some benefits when it comes to like sexual health, I guess, increased libido, All right, let's finally go ahead and get into this preparation. I hope this will be very beneficial to you. And like I said, the link for the sea moss will be down in the description box. All right, let's go. All right, to get this video started, here are some of the supplies that you're gonna need to prep your sea moss. So in this bowl here, we have the sea moss, which was filled with water. I don't know how much water, I just filled it until it was covering the sea moss. About a half cup of lemon juice. And that's about it. I know some people use cut up lime and put it in their sea moss mixed with water, but I use lemon juice because it works for me. All right, so I do have a scale that I use to measure how much sea moss I use for this video. So this was about, and not just for this video, I do use this amount every time I prep my sea moss. So this was about 90 grams of sea moss. Now I filled this up with my water and my lemon juice, and it's been in the fridge for about 2 days. It does smell like the sea. All right, so when you fill, it's really strong. When you fill it up with water, you do want to use water bottles. I believe people say use spring water. Unfortunately, all I have is purified water. I feel like as long as you're not using tap water, you should be fine. Then I have a strainer that I'm gonna use to wash my sea moss. And I will tell you guys what the ice cube trays are for in a minute. All right, y'all probably don't need me to show you this part, but I'm gonna just show you guys really quickly anyways. So I'm gonna pour my sea moss in here. Yeah, the water is very dirty. And I am gonna keep this bowl in the sink. I'm probably gonna need it. Okay, now I'm gonna put it back into this bowl. Literally just gonna go back and forth with it, with the water bottles. So I have 4 water bottles. I don't know if I'm gonna use all of them or if I'm gonna need more. We shall see. So I'm gonna pour this all over here again. Now I'm just gonna go with my hand. This stuff stinks so bad. And it's very cold too because we're sitting in the fridge. I'm actually gonna put on a glove because it's very cold on my hand. Now I'm going to take one of these and rinse it off while it's in the strainer. Okay, I need both of my hands for this. So I'm just going to pour and move around. I hate that I have to waste so much water. Anybody knows a better way? Or if I'm not doing this the proper way, please let me know in the comment section. Let me know if I'm wasting water or not. What's the... Ah, it was a bug. It was a bug in it. See, this way I gotta really rinse this stuff off. I'm pretty sure the bug is not harmful, but it was just creepy. It's dead though. I don't even know what kind of bug that is. Alright, those 2 water bottles down. Now I'm gonna go through this and make sure there's no more bugs in it. one thing that annoys me when people see bugs like in their fruits and veggies and stuff like that, and they get all creeped out, whatever. Like, yeah, I get it. Don't purposely eat bugs, but I feel like sometimes we over exaggerate it. We eat animals all day. We eat fish out of the sea. Y'all eat cows and chickens and goats and what y'all be eating? Lamb and what do y'all be eating? I'm trying to name all the meats y'all be eating. Goats, chickens, cows, pigs. Y'all be eating all these animals. But y'all see a little bug in y'all fruit. As long as it ain't no parasite or anything like that, or worm, rinse that fruit off and eat it. Stop complaining so much. Some people even eat bugs. So, yeah. Okay, y'all, I went through all of this and there are no bugs. So I'm gonna rinse it off again in the bowl. I'm gonna pour a water bottle. And rinse it with my hand. So foamy. Coming out. Look like I put soap in it. I didn't. It's just foamy. And then I'm gonna take my last water bottle, give it another rinse off. Maybe I should get one of those, what's it called? The little fruit cleaning bowls. I don't know what they call, but I see people use it. Like you put the fruit in it and you press it down and it spins and washes it. I should get that just for my sea moss. All right. Okay, we got our sea moss all washed and clean. I'm gonna need you guys to run over to the Dollar Tree and get you some ice trays, unless you got some ice trays stored up in your cabinet somewhere. But let me tell you guys why I'm using ice trays. So, whenever I was prepping my sea moss before, I would always put them in mason jars. And because I was making such a large amount, I had like about three to four mason jars full of sea moss, and it took longer for me to finish those before they went bad. So I was trying to think of ways that I could store the sea moss so I can make large amounts without it going bad fast. And the reason why I make large amounts is because, as you can see, it is a long process to clean the sea moss, and you have to let it sit like overnight in the water with the lemon juice or the lime, and then you have to clean it and blend it. So it's a long process to actually get the sea moss clean. So I don't want to have to make sea moss like every 2 to 3 weeks. So the mason jars was not working out for me because it was going bad before I could finish it. And then I moved to putting the sea moss in a Ziploc bag. And I had them in separate Ziploc bags, like 3 Ziploc bags instead of the mason jars. And then I was putting them in the freezer. And I had like 1 bag a month. So I would take 1 bag out the freezer, put it in the fridge, let it defrost, and then I was using that every day for the month. And then when that's gone, I'll take another bag out. And that wasn't working for me either because it was just a mess. Then I was looking for something that was more efficient for me because I was rushing to get to work and I had to make my smoothies really fast, and just having that bag, and it was a mess. So I wanted something that was easier. So I was like, okay. So I took an ice tray and I measured how much sea moss is in an ice tray. So I want to actually show you guys that in a little bit. So I do believe it's about 1 to 2 tablespoons of sea moss, and that is about how much you should be taking every day. You could probably take more. I'm not sure. You can research that, how much sea moss you should take every day, but I take about 1 to 2 tablespoons in my smoothies. So I was like, okay, let me put them in the ice trays. I freeze them, and then I pop them out the ice tray. I put them in the Ziploc bag, and then once it's frozen, and once I'm ready to make my sea moss, I just take 1 ice cube and throw it in my shake. Very easy, very simple. And I like when stuff is like frozen because it makes it more of like a, not a shake, I keep saying a shake, it gives it more of that smoothie texture. And I also put my frozen strawberries with it, so it was perfect for that. All right, now let's get into blending this. I do have 3 water bottles, but it might only be 2, we'll see. All right, and for my blender, I do have a Ninja blender, but it is a lot smaller than this one. And I'm trying to make like at least 2 batches of the sea moss, and I don't want to be blending all day. So I am gonna use this blender. And this is actually the only thing I use this blender for, unless I'm making other like small things. But for my smoothies and stuff like that, I always use my Ninja blender. All right. I'm gonna put a glove on again. So this, like I said, this stuff is not measured. I'm just going based off of how I usually make it. So that's about half of the cup. And then you have the other half in here. I'm gonna take 1 water bottle. And you wanna make sure you have enough water. Yeah, it's probably only gonna be 2. You wanna make sure you have enough water so it can get to that smooth consistency, and it can really break down the sea moss because you want it to be smooth, so when you put it in your smoothies you don't get those chunky pieces. Because I know like the, what do you call this, I don't know what part of the sea moss this is called, maybe like a vine or something like that. These pieces, when I would just like maybe was I just throwing this in my smoothie? I don't think I was using enough water before, so these pieces weren't breaking down good enough. So when I blended in my smoothie, I have chunky pieces in it, and it felt like I was chewing it, and I didn't like that. So make sure you have enough water to, and also I wasn't blending it long enough. So make sure you have enough water, and make sure you're blending it long enough so you get to that smooth consistency. I'm gonna speed up this part. Okay, y'all, one thing I'm gonna say, don't rush the blending process because it does take a while for it to get really smooth like this. and you need to let your blender like cool off and then start it again. It could just be my blender because this is not one of the best blenders, but yeah, just don't rush the process. All right, now I'm going to, this should fill up one whole ice tray. Move this to the side. And I have my mason jar here because once I do the second batch, if it's anything left over, I'm gonna put it in this mason jar and use that for the week. All right. So thick. I love how smooth this looks. It's so smooth. Ooh, I'm trying not to overfill it. Ooh, there's one more left. Ooh, all right. All right, now we're gonna finish up with the second batch. This is all the water I use for this. I feel like this batch could have been blended a little bit longer, but my blender was starting to overheat and some oil starting to come out of it. I thought oil or something. Like this. It's not folding over as easily as the first one was. I'm gonna spray it up. Make sure I get all the way from the bottom. Okay, I'm gonna put this in the fridge and I'm gonna put these in the freezer. And once they're frozen, I'm gonna pop them out. I'm gonna put them in a Ziploc bag and store them in the freezer. And I will use 1 cube per smoothie. All right, if you would like to see how I make my smoothies, you can go back to my very first video that I posted on my YouTube page, and I hope you enjoy it. All right guys, thank you for watching. Thank you for sticking through. I hope that you'll be able to use sea moss and experience the benefits from it. All right, guys, I'll see you later. Bye.